Hi, welcome to another edition of Pauline Interviews. I'm here again at New Renaissance Bookstores Event Center, and I definitely want to thank them. They're so kind to let me use the facility. And in case you've never checked it out, New Renaissance is a wonderful place. It's on Northwest 23rd in Portland, and they have a variety of so many wonderful metaphysical things, books, and also crystals and candles and all sorts of things. So come and check them out sometime. Well, today I'm really happy to interview David Seybert, who is a Qigong instructor or teacher. Now, the reason I hesitate is because we were talking about how you pronounce it. You can pronounce it several ways?
Yes, it's pronounced Qigong. It's spelled different ways. There's not a universal agreement on how to sound Chinese words or how to spell Chinese words in English. So
did it originate in China?
It is a Chinese practice. It's part of the Chinese medical system, actually.
Oh, that's interesting. We're going to get into that, but first, I know you work here at the New Renaissance. You also an instructor, and you also do other work. You do meditation work, and
yeah. So I teach classes and workshops in meditation, traditional hatha yoga, Tai Chi, and Qigong.
Tai Chi is somewhat similar to Qigong?
Tai Chi is actually a special kind of Qigong. It's I like to joke that if Qigong and Kung Fu had a baby, it would be Tai Chi. So it's a martial art, but it uses the energy that's also used in Qigong.
That's interesting. I took Tai Chi. It was what was hard for me is to remember one movement to the other. It's like choreographed. It's really cool. So how did you get interested in this? I always like to ask people how they got started in this.
You know, actually, I came to it through Tai Chi. I originally, this is going back 30 or 40 years, I tried to meditate. I was young, I was restless. I couldn't sit down for very long and be quiet. So that was kind of that didn't go so well. But I found that doing Tai Chi that I could meditate and move. That I needed to give my body something to do. So that was sort of my first inroad. And then my Tai Chi teachers would often teach Qigong as a supplement to the Tai Chi practice. They both work with this Qi energy, and Qigong is specifically designed to develop this Qi energy, this life energy.
And we talked about pronouncing it. It's all the same thing. Qi, Qi, even prana and
yeah, I'm going to go out on a whim and say it's the same. It's the same energy.
It's all the same energy.
Yeah, and Qi is actually the Japanese version of Qi.
That's
so
right,
Aikido and Reiki.
Reiki. Yeah. So there are different techniques with Qigong. Breath, posture, meditations, guided imagery, visualization. Do you use all of those? And how do they work together?
Well, there's a bit of a learning curve to juggle them all at the same time.
No kidding.
Yeah. So usually I start with just the physical movements and the breath, and just learning a simple physical movement and then synchronizing it with the breath, and then using the breath as a way to access a sense of a flow of energy in the body. And then that also can be augmented by visualizing the structure of the energy body.
Now, I did a little research. It says the goal of Qigong, or Qi energy, is the goal of what you're doing is to manipulate Qi energy in order to promote self-healing, prevent disease, and increase longevity, probably to stay healthy. So can you correlate how Qigong does all these things?
Well, Qigong is actually one of the tools in the Chinese traditional medical system, but it's not primarily designed to fix something that's wrong. It's more designed to promote wellness. So the Chinese view of the world or the body is a little different in that they see the energy aspect as being really crucial to health. And Qigong works with learning to develop and kind of harness consciously and harmonize the energy in the body, which leads to overall wellness that manifests as physical health.
I've talked to other people about this. Once your body is out of balance, there are what we call energy blocks. And this is probably one way to dissolve or release those energy blocks.
Absolutely. Particularly to raise the level of energy and to harmonize it and to get it to flow evenly in the body will help remove those. So yeah, it can be very, very therapeutic. I don't teach it as a therapy for a specific illness. I teach it as a path to kind of general wellness. Yeah.
Then this question wouldn't work for you that much then, because I was wondering what kind of physical problems. I imagine it helps with pain because you're relaxing and you're being mindful of something else and your brain's not even thinking about that. I imagine that would be a big thing that could help.
It can be. I mean, it can be a really good complement to all sorts of other treatment modalities. It
certainly won't hurt.
It definitely, it's very gentle, very mild. There's really, I mean, you're just doing simple postures, you're relaxing, you're calming the mind, and you're moving the body, and all those things are going to be healthy.
I should let people know we're going to do a demonstration. We're not just going to talk about it. I'm going to do that in part 2, though. Now, are there different levels of Qigong? Like, where would you start? Like, if you've never done Qigong before, there's like a level 1, 2, I mean...
No, most of the practices are really simple and require a lot of physical ability. Some of them you can even do in a chair. I mean, I have a wide range of students, from people who basically have trouble getting out of a chair to people who are, young and very physically fit. And you just adapt the movements to the physical abilities.
I've got it. Well, I didn't bring it with me, but I have a DVD on Qigong. I'm going to show it to you later, see if it's a good one. But I looked on YouTube yesterday, and this one guy was just loosening up his body, and the movements he made were so simple and so easy. It made sense. He was relaxing the whole body, and I could see where that would be healing in itself. Are there different styles of Qigong? Because I looked up this too. It said there are different categories. Now, if you don't know about this, I don't know. Medical, martial, we did talk about martial, and spiritual.
Well, I would say they're not so much styles as they're just different perspectives on Qigong. There are many forms or postures of Qigong. A lot of them have animal names, or they have these very poetical names, like the 8 pieces of brocade, or bear Qigong, but you can use them, or you can perform them with a particular orientation, like I'm doing this for health, or I'm doing it as a form of moving meditation, or I'm doing this to raise my my subtle energy in my body. So it's in that sense, there's different kind of flavors of Qigong.
Is there anything that you focus on, or do you do all 3 kind of come into play, the medical, the martial, and the spiritual?
I definitely focus on all 3, although I sort of let each student decide kind of where they're going to run with it and what perspective. But the reason I was drawn to it was it does incorporate the wellness. It does incorporate the kind of the subtle energy, and there is definitely a meditative aspect to it as well.
What about the martial arts part of it? I mean, once you learn Qigong, I have to think about that, Qigong, can you use it to protect yourself? I mean, physically protect yourself.
Well, that's where it becomes Tai Chi. So the Qigong postures themselves don't have a specific application in terms of self-defense. But Tai Chi takes the same energy and specifically directs it towards self-defense.
Now, I have a feeling you could answer this one. How does Qigong help you develop spiritually? Does it help you develop, because I was reading too, doing a little research, once you do it, can you develop your skills in intuition and psychic abilities or anything like that by using Qigong? I
think those could be different manifestations of it. That's not specifically the intention that you do it, but the Chinese worldview, by doing Qigong, you are essentially harmonizing yourself not just within your own body, but you're harmonizing yourself with the universe. The energies that are working within the body are the same energies that are present in the natural and kind of the metaphysical world. So Qigong can be a way to kind of tune into kind of a little, more expansive view of what reality is.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, since it is energy work, can you do distant healing with Qigong?
I mean, I can't personally.
No.
There are, and that's something that may be an important distinction to make. There are people who are clearly Qigong masters. In addition to having really in touch with their own personal energy, they can actually project that energy for healing purposes. I don't practice that.
Right.
I mean, maybe I have that ability and I don't know it, but that's not what I do.
Like Reiki, you can do distant healing because everything's energy.
Yeah, it's all energy.
Yeah, it's all energy.
So I'm open to that, and I know people who have had some pretty amazing Qi healing experiences, both remotely and in person. It's just not what I practice.
And I just thought of this. when you get all that good energy working together, I bet the more people you have in there, it helps them raise the vibration. Would it be like a communal thing where?
Oh yeah, you're doing it in a class, just like meditation and yoga. There's just something that happens energetically when you're in a group with other people that can take you a little deeper than you might be able to on your own.
I don't know if you know Lynn McTaggart. She's one of my favorite authors. She wrote the Intention Experiment, where she gets all these people together, and they just change things just by intentionally focusing on something. And she's also got the Power of 8. I was just so impressed with her work. Now, I think I know the answer, because you said somebody even in a wheelchair can do Qigong. So can you learn it at any age? I mean, I imagine you have to be at least a certain, maybe 5 or 6, or you probably can't be 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think there's, until you're probably in your early teens, you just sort of don't have the level of kind of cognitive integration where it's all this talk about subtle energy in the body is going to really make any sense. But from that point onward, I mean, you could be completely bedridden.
That's what I like. You could you could do it anyway. That's
because it's really the physical movement is more a way to encourage the movement of energy. It's not, and you can do that mentally, even without the physical movement.
Visualization.
So you can visualize the movement, or you can literally just sit there and just visualize energy moving in the body. But it's easier to develop that ability starting from the physical movement.
That is so good, though. I mean, that's so encouraging. Somebody's in a wheelchair, bedridden, they can still make use of this wonderful.
Most of my students are older than me. I did a lot of teaching of Tai Chi in senior centers, and when I teach at the YMCA, I mean, my students are in their 60s, 70s, even 80s.
Did they feel better?
Oh yeah. I mean,
they stand up straighter, sit up straighter.
Yeah, and it just they come away saying, I just feel really energized and relaxed and kind of brighter, and
And also, I don't know, you help animals? Can't learn Qigong, but you could probably, like with Reiki, you can do Reiki for animals. Can you do Qigong for animals? I know you don't do the healing aspect.
I mean, I think it would be, if you had developed that kind of really master level ability to project the energy into another body, you could certainly do it. People do acupuncture for animals.
That's right. Yeah, they do Reiki. I know they have Reiki.
No, I'm sure you could. I don't know anybody who's really doing that, but it certainly wouldn't be impossible.
So did Qigong originate in China? And if so, how long ago? It's an old practice, isn't it?
It's prehistoric. It's part of the traditional Chinese medical system, along with acupuncture and herbalism. And there are pictures or cave paintings in China of people doing movements that appear to be Qigong movements.
And it's spread all over the world now. They may call it different things, but it's pretty much the same technique. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Because we're going to do a little demonstration here in a minute.
Well, just the meaning of the word Qigong, and this is true of throughout when I give you the names of the practices, you'll see this as well. Chinese is a very metaphorical, visual language, and so the words actually tell you a lot about what they are. They're not just an arbitrary sound that points to something. So Qi means energy, life energy. Gong means a skill that you develop through practice. So Qi Gong means the skill, developing the skill of working with energy. And it's just two characters. It's not this whole long sentence. It's just 2 simple characters, and all of that's packed into those 2 little characters.
Traced back to any one person, like Reiki could be traced back to Dr. Sui, and it wasn't that long ago.
This is too old. This is millennium old. So there was a semi-mythical figure called the Yellow Emperor in China who lived back in prehistoric times, and he's credited with developing acupuncture and all of the Chinese medical system, but nobody knows if he was a real historical person or not.
You'll never know. Well, do you know when Qigong was brought to the United States? It's not that important. I was just curious.
Well, it came with Chinese immigration. I'm sure it was probably practiced, when they were bringing Chinese laborers over, but it didn't get really passed on to Westerners probably until the 40s and 50s. It's
so amazing to me how more advanced I think the Chinese medicine is. Really.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's so good that we have everything here. Something for everybody, and everything has a good place. Well, this has been interesting, and we want to save time to do part 2, so we want to see some demonstrations shortly.
Sure.
So thank you, David. We'll just stay seated for a minute, and then we'll get you in position. Thank you for watching another edition of Pauline Interviews, but please stay tuned. We're going to do part 2, and we're going to actually see what Qigong is and what the movements are. Thank you for watching, and if you like the show, please tell your friends about us, and we also would love subscribers if you like the show. Thank you so much.